So you actually appeared at the UN at a protest for Palestine with none other than the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro. And before we get into what you and he were talking about, I want to show. Let's take a look at the Petro speech, and I will read it's not translated, so I'll read it. This is why I call on the nations of the world and on all peoples of humanity to unite armies and weapons. Palestine must be liberated. I call on the armies of Asia and the Slavic peoples who defeated Hitler. I call on the Bolivarian armies of Latin America, of Garibaldi, who had an army in Italy. On Martí of Artigas of Santa Cruz. Words are no longer enough. It is the hour of Bolivar's sword, freedom or death. They will not only bomb Gaza, not only the Caribbean, but humanity itself, which cries out for freedom. Because Washington and NATO are killing democracy and reviving tyranny and totalitarianism worldwide. We must raise Bolivar's red and black flag of freedom or death, without forgetting the white flag of peace. Peace as hope, so there may be life on earth and in the heart of humanity. The United States no longer teaches democracy. It kills its migrants in its greed. The United States teaches tyranny. The UN must change by stopping the genocide in Gaza. It must act with the strength of an army for the salvation of the world. You then appeared outside of the UN at a protest with Gustavo Petro, and he laid out a very interesting plan.
The people and the nation should be involved to create this great army.
Tiene que ser más grande que el de los Estados Unidos. Por eso, desde aquí, desde Nueva York, le pido a todos los soldados del ejército de los Estados Unidos no apuntar contra la humanidad sus fusiles.
Then I ask from New York, I ask to all the soldiers of the USA Army, don't put your hands against the people, not against the humanity.
Desobedezcan la orden de Trump. Obedezcan la orden de la humanidad.
Disobey the Trump's order. Obey the order of humanity.
Okay, so Roger, how did this unfold? You're out there in front of the UN. It's during the United Nations General Assembly, and you're there and you're with the president of Colombia. What happens?
Well, I'll tell you how it unfolded. When I was on tour, I did a gig in Bogota. And I called him up, or I called up the presidency, and I said, I'd like to see Gustavo Petro if I could get an appointment. And they went, yeah, all right. He's a bit of a fan, of your work and blah, blah, blah. So I went. The reason that I went was the same reason that I've been before in Brasilia to see Lula da Silva, the president of Brazil. And I went because I wanted to encourage them individually to evoke the Genocide Convention. Then, this was like 1 month after October the 7th, to try to force the Israelis and the Americans to stop the genocide that they'd already started in Gaza by evoking this Genocide Convention. Because under international law, it's the worst crime you can commit is genocide. And here is the United States and Israel. It's like committing genocide in front of our very eyes, day after day, already then. Actually, Gustavo was very honest with me. He sort of smiled a bit and he said, I know I'm the president of Colombia, but weirdly enough, I don't have control over the foreign ministry. The ruling class still do. Right. This is how politics is in some parts of the world, So he said, I can't actually do that now, but we can do I couldn't agree with you more. That's exactly what I would do if I could. And let's hold this Palestinian flag up. Well, what a lovely surprise it was last week to hear that he was in town and that he was not evoking it, because the South Africans did that when they took it to the ICJ. Okay, and so it had been in the General Assembly of the United Nations since then. So then there we are.
Did you have that in your back pocket, or did he have it? The flag?
No, he had the flag. He had a flag there. I'm pretty sure. I could be lying.
But it wasn't your back pocket. It's too big.
No, it wasn't in my. Okay. I'd never get that in my back pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
I wear kind of tight jeans.
It's true, you do. You wear skinny jeans.
Exactly.
Someone else maybe could.
No, how the hell am I supposed to remember this story if you keep bringing
in irrelevant?
That's all right. Anyway, so there is this thing. I'm not sure if it's 477 or 3. It might be 377A, which is a resolution that can be brought in an emergency session of the General Assembly if one needs, because of some great evil being done somewhere in the world, if that great evil is being allowed to happen by one of the 5 permanent members of the Security Council exercising their veto, the General Assembly can circumvent that veto. Well, the genocide in Gaza and in Palestine in general is being carried on because the USA constantly and consistently vetoes any move by the Security Council to stop the genocide. There was one just last week, and they vetoed it. It was a 14-1 vote. 14 of the members of the Security Council voted for an immediate ceasefire and the withdrawal of the Israeli army from, and all of that, vetoed by the United States. So President Petro is now calling, well, he hasn't actually done it yet, but he has announced his intention to write a resolution to present to the General Assembly. And Craig Moika and I, among others, are waiting with bated breath to get that document so we can continue to help him to bring it before an emergency session of the General Assembly. Now, what the General Assembly would vote to do remains to be seen. I'm not suggesting that we all shoulder arms and march into Israel and whatever it was he said, liberty or death. It sounds nice and it's rhetorically work. No, but what we do want is we want to send in a protection force to stop the genocide and to protect the Palestinian people from further harm. And that is the extent of it. But this would be a huge, huge victory for the people of the world who support the ICJ decision to do exactly that, which was nearly 2 years ago now. So we're all excited about it. We can't wait to get on with it. We might just need to jiggle Gustavo Petro a little bit. I know they're working as fast and as hard as they can on it, but that will be happening soon. Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu, their plans are a complete joke, just really, really bad theater, and have no relationship to real life, and certainly nothing to do with human rights or the law or any of the rest of it.
I want to point out that I do give Gustavo Petro, the president of Colombia, a lot of credit for saying what he said. And also, a sign that you're saying something powerful is that Trump's State Department revoked his visa.
That day, that
That
night.
day. Right. Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did. Shows how petulant and petty they are, and also how scared they are.
Exactly.
They are terrified. Trump is a terrified little boy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell it, you can see it. It oozes out of him in everything he says, everything he does. He's shitting himself.